Derivatives of logarithmic functions. How do we differentiate natural log of x squared plus 5? What rule should we use? If you see a function inside of another function, use chain rule. Okay, so what would that look like? Well, I am going to let the outside function be f and the inside function be g. Okay, so the outside function is f, and we've got y equals f of, I'm going to call this u as well, but more on that in a second. Okay, so y equals f of u, which is equal to, well, what was f again? Natural log. Okay, so natural log of u. Okay. So earlier I said the outside function was going to be f, and the inside function was going to be g. Okay, so this is g. So we've got g of x equals x squared plus 5. But earlier we also said that this was u. Okay. Now, what happens if I go to this equation and I change all the u's to g of x? Okay, whatever I write on this sheet of paper, you don't have to write down when showing your work. I'm just going to use this sheet of paper to elaborate on a few things. Okay, so we're going to this equation. We're changing the u's to g of x. So this turns into f of how much? U gets changed to g of x is equal to natural log of g of x, which is x squared plus 5. Okay. So basically, we've got that this matches with this. Since this is the same as this, what can I say about this and this? So y is equal to this. Okay, so y is equal to f of g of x. And we want to differentiate, so we need to find what? We need to find y prime. And we were going to use what rule again? Chain rule. Okay. And what's the formula for chain rule again? So it's derivative of outer times derivative of inner. Okay. So we're going to need to find f prime and g prime. And we can do that from these two equations. Okay. So if fu is equal to natural log of u, what would f prime be? What's the derivative of natural log? So it's going to be 1 over u. All right. And we're also going to need g prime of x, which is equal to how much? Well, what's the derivative of x squared? So I move this over here in front of the x, and then x gets raised to what power? I need to subtract 1 from 2. So it's 2x to the power of 1. Anything to the power of 1 is just itself, so I'm not going to write down the 1. And what's the derivative of 5? 0, so I won't write that down either. Okay. All right, because it turns into 2x plus 0, so just 2x. But okay, so we now have f prime and g prime. I'll give you a second to pause the video and plug them into this equation. Okay, what did you get? You should have gotten y prime is equal to f prime. So that was what again? Right here. So f prime 1 over u, and u was, okay, so u was g of x, right here. And g of x was how much? X squared plus 5. What was g prime again? Okay, so times 2x. All right, how do I simplify this? Y prime equals 2x over x squared plus 5. This is your answer. As you practice, you'll be able to do these kinds of problems in your head. And we're going to try that in about a minute. But before we do that, I'd like to read out chain rule twice. So it's f prime of g of x times g prime of x. One more time. F prime of g of x times g prime of x. Okay. So f prime of g of x times g prime of x. And this is equal to how much? 2x over x squared plus 5. Okay, I'm going to give you a new problem. Okay, but if your teacher asked you to show your work while doing this problem, this is what they'd expect you to turn in. Okay, I'm going to give you a second to pause the video and try to do this in your head. All right. Okay, what did you get? So f prime of g of x times g prime of x. This is your answer.